Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Ann Emanuel. The finalists for Elmira's newest sports team name competition have been announced. After a couple weeks of submissions, Elmira's new pro box lacrosse team's names are down to 4. The finalists are the Elmira Tilt, Express, Renegades, and Huckleberries. One of these names will be the name for the team. You can go vote on the names on the PBLA website. Staying with sports, the Elmira Mammoth released their home jersey designs for the upcoming season. The Mammoth are gearing up for their first season in the Federal Prospects Hockey League with some brand new jerseys. The Mammoth will have 3 jerseys in total. The other 2 jerseys will be released on the 10th and the 17th. Poultry and cows and goats. Oh my! The Chemung County Fair is back, and with it is the Chemung County 4-H program. Big Fox's Maggie Hall spoke to members about their experience so far.
Thanks to the 4-H program, you won't just find amusement park rides and fried food here at the Chemung County Fair. You'll find a wild assortment of animals as well. Fifth-generation dairy farmer Russ Giese and his son Jake Giese know that this week is a year in the making for their kids and grandkids.
They had a great morning and had lots of fun, which was a culmination of a year's worth of work of taking care of their animals, feeding them every day, and taking care of them, teaching them how to lead, and all those fun responsibilities.
I think it's important for my kids to have grown up in the 4-H program and my grandkids to do likewise.
Chemung County Dairy Ambassador Serenity Conklin shared with me some of the animals she brought this year.
So I have breeding beef, I have fainting goats as you see behind me, and a couple dairy heifers, and rabbits and chickens, a little bit of everything.
Olivia Twilliger shared that some of the animals aren't only for show, they're also for sale.
It will be on the 4-H website, and you could bid on cows. You could even bid on mine if you want, and the proceeds would all go to 4-H members for their college.
Being a part of 4-H isn't just about the animals.
You learn teamwork, responsibility, and you get to work with a lot of other people.
4-H teaches fair visitors as well.
Being here kind of lets people know where their food comes from, their milk coming from dairy cows or their meat coming from beef cows.
As one, it shows people how nice animals can be, and 2, it's just a fun experience.
Being a youth enrichment program, no animals are required for entry into 4-H.
Not only is 4-H about the animals, you can have animals, you could not have animals, but you're still welcome to join our club and just be part of the family.
Even the goats think you should come on down to the Chemung County Fairgrounds and visit all that 4-H has to offer. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Chemung County.
Corning Painted Post School District has a new app available for families. The Transportation Department launched a new app for this upcoming year called Stop Finder. Stop Finder is an app that allows parents to have the most accurate information about their child's bus schedule. The Transportation Department has already emailed invites to the app to parents. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wraps up her trip to Taiwan today, but not before upsetting China and putting the White House in an awkward spot. But as Doug Luzader reports from Washington, her visit has won some bipartisan praise on Capitol Hill.
The White House says the president respects the speaker's decision to go to Taiwan, but it is also evident that he did not really want her to go. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi given an award during her stop in Taiwan. Her welcome here was warm, and her message to China was clear.
America's determination to preserve democracy here in Taiwan and around the world remains ironclad. And we're grateful to the partnership of the people of Taiwan in this mission.
The White House tried to calibrate.
We've said that we oppose any unilateral changes to the status quo from either side. We said we do not support Taiwan independence.
The Biden administration is concerned about provoking China, which sees Taiwan as a breakaway province. And in a tweet, one Chinese official repeated a warning about Pelosi's visit. The U.S. must pay the price for its own mistake, and we mean what we say. And sure enough, starting tomorrow, China's military is planning live fire exercises near Taiwan. just as the U.S. has moved a number of warships to the area.
That'll go on for 4 days starting Thursday. Some of these zones appear to be inside Taiwan's territorial waters. That opens the possibility for an accident, a miscalculation.
But for all of the bluster from China, Pelosi has achieved something remarkable. She has won praise from both sides of the aisle in Congress.
I'm glad she went. I mean, we can't let China tell us where to go and what to do. So the idea of her going to visit Taiwan is a good thing in my view.
Now, that's not to say there haven't been critics. Some believe this trip needlessly strains our relations with China at a critical time. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
A red Putin statue makes a children's playground in Central Park its new home. The statue is the work of James Colomina, a French artist known for creating red statues and placing them in random locations. The latest is this Putin statue, which depicts the Russian leader riding a toy-sized tank. Children in the iconic park played alongside the effigy, spraying it with water guns and placing sand on its head. Adults, on the other hand, saw the meaning behind the strange addition to the playground.
I think it's pretty funny, actually. I think it's a good way to express one's opinion and show the world that there are a lot of people out there who are not happy about what's happening.
This is the Putin statue's second placement. It was previously on display in Paris's Luxembourg Gardens. It may be wise to book those holiday travel plans now. Industry experts are warning travelers that the best time to book holiday travel is during the summer, saying that from late August to early September is the best time to book for Thanksgiving. Those looking to travel on Christmas are advised to book before Thanksgiving. Prices are expected to increase dramatically after Halloween for airline tickets. Airfare is estimated to jump 23% throughout December. Voters in Kansas have overwhelmingly rejected a measure that would have restricted or banned abortion in their state. The president and many pro-choice supporters say this is a sign that Americans do not agree with the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Lauren Blanchard has more.
Pro-choice advocates are celebrating in Kansas after nearly 60% of voters chose to keep state constitutional abortion protections as is.
I prefer to keep politics out of women's health care decisions.
Tuesday night's highly watched vote could be a preview of what's to come this November.
This setback is not going to stop us. Our resolve has never been stronger.
Kansas won't be the last state to vote on a similar measure after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, which guaranteed federal abortion protections.
This is exactly what the Dobbs decision designed the next steps to be, which is kick it back to the states, let the people decide. In Kansas, they spoke very loudly last night.
On Tuesday, the Justice Department announced they were suing Idaho over a nearly total abortion ban set to take effect later this month. It would restrict abortions for patients who need emergency medical procedures. President Biden says his administration can only do so much and that Congress needs to get enough votes to make Roe federal law.
We want to win at least 2 more Democratic Senate seats, and we will move and be able to codify Roe v. Wade into law. That's what we want to do.
The White House has been trying to shore up abortion protections. Midday Wednesday, President Biden signs an executive order to make it easier for women to cross state lines for abortion procedures. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Your complete forecast is coming up next. Plus, from protein-packed snacks to low-cost fertilizer, businesses are showcasing just how beneficial and life-saving products made with insects can be. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Under the bright blue sky today, we were able to see those high temperatures climb into the 90s. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and it wasn't too humid today, but that is going to start to change. What we'll see through the overnight is we stay underneath those clear skies and fall into the 70s and upper 60s, so not too much of a comfortable low temperature. Also note that we have that strong southerly wind in place. It stays on the lighter side, but with that strong pull from the south, we're going to see deeper moisture move its way in, and that's what's going to bring some sticky conditions on Thursday. So similar temperatures, maybe a few degrees warmer, will be dependent on cloud cover, but it is going to feel warmer, which is going to put some heat stress on your bodies. So make sure that hydration is key, not only for your Thursday, but into the weekend. We're going to stay active. So you're going to note that with the moisture that's going to be in the air, stickiness will be around, and we'll detail that in a moment. But as we head through our Thursday evening forecast, we'll have a chance for some thunderstorms to move on through. Not expecting severe weather, but a rumble of thunder, especially in that instability and that humidity. There is going to be some good chances to bring in some brief showers and then keep us under some wet weather for the weekend, as well as paired with some of that humidity. So rolling through the potential of your heat that we are going to be dealing with on Thursday, we're watching that our dew point values will allow for feel-like temperatures to climb well within the 90s before the lunch hour and then flirt with the triple digits by the mid-afternoon. So you'll note that you have that extent through at least 1 p.m. Then after that, that's when we're going to start to work in some storm chances. So you see some of those feel-like temperatures steady out. But with that extent to hitting the mid-90s to the triple digits, we are going to stay under a heat advisory for Elmira and off towards Binghamton. So under that heat advisory, again, hydration is key, as high temperatures are expected to hit about 94s in Elmira through Corning, a few of those lower 90s off towards portions of Pennsylvania, and then through the Finger Lakes, even a few 90-degree high temperatures will be mentioned. But we will be anticipating that the warmth is building ahead of this cold front, but that cold front along the Great Lakes will allow for some convection to be able to be building along some of those unstable conditions. So rolling through, you see the morning stays quiet, but as we head into the afternoon, this is after lunch hour, you pop up a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Doesn't look overly organized, and that's why the severe risk is low, but still some brief downpours, numerous lightning that can still happen, especially with that rich atmosphere. And that frontal system doesn't pass yet. We stay ahead of that frontal system on Friday, so we're going to stay under that thunderstorm threat and then keep that around through the weekend. So even through 7 p.m. on Friday, we have a chance to see anywhere from about just a quarter of an inch upwards of a few locations bringing in 3/4 of an inch. So a good dosing of rainfall is expected just through that Friday forecast, and we don't stop the storm chances. We have a chance to see those all the way through at least that Monday forecast, but also note temperatures hit the 90s and there's going to be humidity, so feel like temperatures could be in those upper 90s. So we may need more of those heat advisories before we'll be tracking some big changes as we head into next work week.
While Americans aren't exactly lining up to scarf down a bowl full of crickets, consuming edible insects as part of a balanced diet is a critical part of cultures around the world. And that trend could be taking off here in the United States as well. As biologists say, edible insects can provide solutions to hunger and climate change. Marianne Rafferty has the scoop.
Insects are going from pests to protein-packed menu items with the potential to combat the world's ongoing hunger and climate crises.
They're low in fat, they're high in nutrients, minerals, calcium, so they're good for you.
Unlike traditional forms of protein like beef, environmentalists say creepy crawlies like crickets, mealworms, waxworms, and more require less water, food, and space to grow, creating opportunities to reduce deforestation, greenhouse gas emissions, and resource consumption. According to the Worldwide Fund for Nature, quote, 25% of global land use change, and forestry emissions are driven by beef production, as more of the world's remaining forests are converted into farmland for cattle and fields to grow their food. But in countries like Madagascar, researchers say making room for more cows isn't a sustainable option, as they work to increase production of edible insects.
This will be our contribution to our fight against malnutrition in Madagascar.
Meantime, to help feed the increasing global population, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization says farmers around the world need to increase the size of their harvests by roughly 70% by 2050. And while insects can help fill our stomachs, the UN says their waste can also be made into low-cost fertilizer for growing crops. And while insects won't replace the demand for beef overnight, according to estimates from Barclays Bank, the value of the insect protein market is expected to go from less than $1 billion to more than $8 billion by 2030. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
The severe drought in Texas is having a major impact on farmers there. Tom Zizka spoke to a cotton farmer who says his harvest is not nearly as big as it needs to be.
It ran out of moisture because of the lack of rain, so it didn't develop all the way.
Needville farmer Paul Friend has about 500 acres planted with cotton plants that are decidedly smaller than he needs them to be. As the harvest begins, persistent drought conditions have left these fields with about half of what they would produce during a normal season. By some measures, this year could rival the 2011 drought that cost the state $7.6 billion in crop and livestock losses.
When we got into May and it stayed dry and it got drier, and in June, that's what it kind of finished it off. We didn't get any rain in June. I mean, as it went, it just progressively got worse.
Houston area farms are a little better off than other Texas cotton farmers who collectively produce more than half the nation's cotton supply. In some regions, the crop has been cooked by the dry, hot season and may not yield anything. But while a difficult drought is part of the bargain for farmers, they are also being squeezed by the rising inflation that everyone feels. For them, it's fuel, fertilizer, and seed, to name a few. Those extra costs against lackluster yields from the fields will leave some very tight margins for a lot of farmer finances.
We had a decent year last year, so on average, if you're established, you expect these things. It still doesn't make you feel any better.
The fact is, if farmers aren't making money, there is a whole supply chain of businesses and services that rely on those farmers that won't be making money either. What's done is done this year, as the hope, however, is that there's rain between now and next March, when the planting would happen again, to make this all worth their while. Watching Your Money, I'm Tom Zizka, Fox 26 News.
Still ahead, an organization is helping kids with disabilities by creating special toy cars. Plus, a popular trading platform announces more layoffs. Those stories and more coming up. Starbucks serves up record revenue. A popular trading platform announces more layoffs, and the latest season of Stranger Things continues to break records at Netflix. CJ Papa has more on those stories in today's Business Briefs.
Starbucks reported record revenue in the second quarter, benefiting from hundreds of new stores and higher prices. The coffee giant said higher spending on labor and other inflationary pressures weighed on income, but added that customer demand is robust in the U.S. The coffee giant disclosing that same-store sales in North America rose 9%, but declined 18% internationally, with a 44% decline in China. Robinhood markets plans to cut its staff by 23% due to a weakening economic environment, and as the online brokerage deals with a weak trading environment and a fall-off in crypto trading. The job cuts mark the second round of layoffs this year at Robinhood, which in April laid off about 9% of its full-time employees. Together, the two rounds have cut more than 1,000 jobs from the company. On a side note, the crypto division of Robinhood will pay a $30 million penalty to New York State for failing to comply with regulations governing money laundering and cybersecurity. And Netflix says volumes 1 and 2 of Stranger Things Season 4 finished with over 1.3 billion viewing hours combined in its first 28 days on the platform, making it the most watched English language-based program in Netflix history. The series also finishing as the second most watched program on the platform, finishing behind the Korean series Squid Game. For more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm CJ Papa.
A nonprofit is helping to bring smiles to families in need. The organization provides modified toy cars to kids with disabilities. Paulina Aguilar has the story.
Now, this is not your average toy car. In fact, these are cars that kids can actually ride on, and each car is modified to fit the needs of the child. Now, for example, this is your gas pedal, that if a kid can't reach it, you can always take it off and move it somewhere else where they can.
Go Baby Go and Comcast are working together to build ride-on toy cars to give back to the community.
It brought joy to my heart thinking about that we can make a difference in helping local kids get around.
Yeah, there it is. 15 cars will be given to children with disabilities like cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and other developmental disabilities. giving them the chance to play with their peers.
We also have kids that may be ambulatory and may get like tired after a certain period of time, like maybe low endurance. They could have like flare-ups or something like that they could use the car at some times but maybe not need it at others.
These cars are built for children from 6 months to 5 years old, and with safety in mind, using pool noodles, kickboards, PVC pipes, and a harness.
So if a child needs like additional trunk support or head support, we have a higher back for them to be able to rest on.
Each car can cost up to $200, but you can't put a price on happiness.
Go Baby Go just doesn't supply toy cars. They supply small toys and books. And if you're interested in joining the program, just head to our website at kptv.com for more information. Reporting in Tigard, Pauline Aguilar, Fox 12 Oregon.
A new study finds that children who grew up in greener neighborhoods have healthier respiratory systems. A research team in Portugal monitored more than 3,200 children. They used maps and satellite data to calculate the green areas close to their homes. The team then measured how much air the children could blow out after taking the deepest breath they could. They found the kids who lived close to greener areas like parks during their first 10 years showed better results. Researchers believe bringing children closer to nature helps improve their respiration and even lowers the risk of asthma. Stay with us. We'll have more right after this. We want to leave you with a smile. Taco Bell is bringing back a fan favorite. The fast food chain says the Mexican pizza will return to its menu permanently. Taco Bell says it underestimated how popular the item would be after releasing it for a limited time in May following a 2-year hiatus. It says it did not buy enough supply to meet the demand. They also say the Mexican pizza will make its return on September 15th. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.